Hello kids, we welcome you to our KIDSLAND family.
So kids, as usual, our teacher Mamo Kanu is in touch today to do today's lesson for you. So let's hand over the program to our teacher.
Yes, Joanna, today we are talking about the story of Elisha. Now let's go to today's lesson. Elisha did many wonderful things in the strength of the Spirit that Elijah's God gave him. He changed the waters of Jericho so that they were no longer poisonous by casting salt in the spring. He brought water for the thirsty armies of 3 kings who had gathered to battle by telling them to dig ditches in a valley of Edom and watch for the water to come without wind or rain. When the morning dawned, the valley was full of running water. He helped a poor widow to pay a debt and take care of her 2 sons by telling her to borrow empty pots and pans of all her neighbors and pour into them her 1 little pot of oil. The oil increased until all the pots and pans were full, and she had plenty to sell. He saved the sons of the prophets from death by casting meal into the pot when a poisonous nut had been mingled with the food. And he fed 100 people with the bread that was brought as a portion for himself. But the most beautiful story in the life of Elisha is that of the Shunammite mother and her son. The mother was a noble lady of Shunem, who believed in God and in the good man who passed her house so often. And she said to her husband, "Let us make for him a little chamber on the wall." And so they did. And when Elisha came again, he lodged there. He was grateful to these kind people, and asked the woman what he should do for her if she would ask anything of the king. But she only said, "I dwell among mine own people." Then the prophet, knowing that she had no child, promised that she should have a son, and though it was hard to believe, the little son was sent to her, and she was very happy. But one day when he went out in the field where his father and his men were reaping, he cried out, my head, and they carried him into his mother. She held him in her arms until noon. And then he died, and she laid him in the prophet's chamber. Perhaps the heat of the harvest time had been too great for one so young. Did the mother cry out and call her husband? No, she called for a servant and a donkey, and rode as fast as she could to Mount Carmel where Elisha was. His servant saw her coming, and Elisha sent him to meet her and ask if it was well with her and her husband and her child. And she said, "It is well, though her heart was breaking. Did I ask a son of my Lord?" She said as she came to Elisha and fell at his feet. Then he knew that the child was ill or dead, and he would have sent his servant to lay his staff on the child. But the mother cried, "As the Lord live, and as thy soul live, I will not leave thee." And he arose and followed her. When he came to the Shunammite's house, he went into his little room where the dead child lay upon his bed, and, shutting the door, prayed to the Lord. Then he stretched himself upon the child, and breathed upon him until life began to creep back into the little cold body. And when he had done this twice, the child opened his eyes. Then Elisha called the mother, and when she had fallen at his feet in grateful joy, she took up her child and went out.
So kids, today we learned a lot about the story of Elisha. We hope that your life will get many things from this.
If you are not connected to our website yet, connect to our website today and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Then you can watch as soon as we post a video.
This is the KIDSLAND family.